Welcome back to another episode of Mental Mosaic with Kiki Garcia. And I think part of our well-being is feeling good. And I think right around this time, springtime, is when things start percolating, as my dad used to say, outside and giving us the sniffles. And that's why I'm very excited to have Dr. Ashley Brissette with us today, because she is an expert on allergies and what we could do to help ourselves out when everything seems so helpless sometimes when allergies hit. It's funny how allergies really kind of stop you in your tracks, whether you're tearing up or sniffling or what. What is it about allergy season that we find so difficult to get through?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I used to think about allergy season as just this short season, but it really is starting earlier and going so much later. And I feel like I say this every year, but this year is an especially bad year for allergies. There's so much pollen in the air. And I've had a lot of patients come in and they'll complain about things like sneezing or runny nose. And then especially related to the eyes, because, our eyes are how we present ourselves to the world. And they'll say things like they're so red and irritated and itchy. And that can be really distressing for a lot of people.
And it's just so random. I take my medicine every single day. And the other morning I had to host the kidney walk and I just could not stop with my eye. Like it was just tearing. And, I went over it and I made sure I took my pill and I did. What is causing all of these problems this year?
Yeah, that's a really important point because I'll talk to my patients about how they need to find the right tool for the job. So, exactly as you said, you took your pill, which can help with maybe some of the nasal symptoms or the congestion. But specifically for the eyes, we need to start thinking about using eye allergy drops, which can target those cells on the surface of the eye that are leading to that itch and that irritation. And there's so much in our environment that can cause that, both outside and even inside our homes too. So outside, it's often when things start to bloom. So we'll get tree pollen or plants that release pollens into the air. It can be things like ragweed or grass that can contribute. And then inside the home, even dust and pet dander can also lead to eye symptoms.
The other thing is there's so much to choose from. What is a good product to use for eye drops? Because I have my nose drops, they work. I have my pill that works. What about the eyes? I never know what to use.
Yeah, it can be really overwhelming, and especially when you go to your local pharmacy and see the multitude of drops that are available on the shelf. So what I recommend to my patients is to look for something that's fast acting, effective, and safe, and specifically formulated for eye itch. So for example, one drop that I really love is called Pat-A-Day Once Daily Relief Extra Strength. And it was actually prescription, so I used to prescribe this a lot, but luckily now it's over the counter. So it's really easy for my patients to find, and it gives fast acting 24-hour relief. So you just need one drop in each eye once a day, and you'll have a full day's relief.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to get some of that because I need it lately. And the other thing that I always think is funny, because obviously I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and everyone just assumes, well, you live in the desert, there's nothing there, you'll be fine. And it's not. My allergies are actually worse in New Mexico than they were when I lived in Massachusetts.
Yeah, well, it's such a dry environment, and even that dust can contribute. So if there's no pollen, it's other things in the air like dust, even pollution that can exist can really affect the eyes. I mean, I'm in New York City and there's so much pollution here, and that can also lead to eye allergies. So that's why it's really important, I think, to have these drops on hand, because you never know when eye allergies will strike. And like you said, it'll really just stop you in your tracks, and red, itchy, irritated eyes are nothing that anyone wants to have.
And here on Mental Mosaic, I like to focus on, just our well-being, our mental health, and it will cause you a lot of stress when you're sniffly and runny nosing and eyes itching. So it's super important, right?
Yeah, I think it's so important. I think we have a heightened kind of attitude now about taking care of our health after everything we've been through over the past few years. Another strategy I talk to my patients about is making sure that you're washing and cleansing around your eyes. And not everybody knows that they need to be doing that. The reason being is you go about your day-to-day environment, that dust or that pollen builds up, and it loves to build up around the eyes, on the eyelid skin, and even in the eyelashes. So it's so important to be washing and cleansing around your eyes every single day to remove that pollen and to remove that debris.
So is there a way to really pinpoint what is causing us these allergies? Is it ragweed? Is it the cottonwood here? I just drive through cottonwood and I get itchy and it's like I could feel it even though I'm in the car. Is there a way to pinpoint what is bothering us?
Yeah, it can be difficult because everybody reacts to something differently, and there's different things in our environment that can contribute. So what I recommend to my patients is to keep a symptoms diary. So exactly as you said, if you're driving through that, cottonwood and that's causing irritation, then you'll know that's something that you need to avoid. And then if you have further questions or you're not quite sure what could be contributing, you can always meet with your doctor to discuss it more and maybe even pursue testing.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. So much great information about eye allergy. Where can people go for more information?
Yeah, so a great resource online is www.pataday.com. So it has great tips about eye allergies and itch and how to treat it, some information about that drop that I recommended. And it can also be found over the counter at your local stores or even online nationwide.
Well, thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Ashley Brissette. We appreciate it.
Thank you.